A nuclear threat from one of Russia's most prominent media figures has reignited fears of escalation in the Ukraine war. After Washington signaled tougher sanctions could soon be on the table, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, speaking on NBC News Meet the Press this week, said the United States was prepared to ratchet up economic pressure on Moscow and urged the European Union to join forces. He argued that combined sanctions and secondary tariffs on countries buying Russian oil could trigger a collapse of Russia's economy, eventually forcing President Vladimir Putin to the negotiating table.
We are prepared to increase pressure on Russia, but we need our European partners to follow us because if the US and the EU do this together, we are in a race now between how long can the Ukrainian military hold up versus how long can the Russian economy hold up. And if the US and the EU can come in, do more sanctions, secondary tariffs on the countries that buy Russian oil, the Russian economy will be in full collapse. And that will bring President Putin to the table.
The comments drew a furious response from Vladimir Solovyov, a television presenter widely regarded as a close ally of the Kremlin. Solovyov dismissed the idea that sanctions would drive Moscow to compromise. Instead, he warned that Russia could turn to nuclear strikes, declaring that Europe was preparing for war and urging Moscow to respond harshly and terribly.
He says, it's a question of what will collapse first, the Russian economy, after all sanctions are imposed, or the Ukrainian army. For some reason, he thinks that if all possible sanctions are imposed against us, we will sit down at the negotiating table. We'll just strike with our nuclear weapons, and that's it. We'll carry out a strike, and that's it.
The threat lands against the backdrop of mounting instability in Eastern Europe. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk announced that 19 Russian drones had violated Poland's airspace during overnight strikes on western Ukraine, prompting Warsaw to formally invoke NATO's Article 4 over national security concerns. The move underscores the widening risks facing the alliance, with discussions intensifying about how far Moscow is prepared to push. United Nations spokesperson Stefan Dujarric reacted to the Poland incident by cautioning that it again underlines the regional impact and real risk of expansion of this devastating conflict. Efforts at brokering peace remain stalled, with neither side showing signs of retreat. With Russia holding the world's largest nuclear arsenal and its media proxies openly invoking the prospect of atomic strikes, the war's trajectory appears increasingly volatile. What began as an economic contest of attrition now carries the spectre of catastrophic escalation, a chilling reminder of how quickly the conflict could spiral beyond Ukraine's borders.